Hello everyone, just a quick reminder, you can now support us on Patreon. You can get this show and all our shows a day early, and lots of other goodies by supporting us. If you like what we do, and you want to see us do more, you can find us at patreon.com/StudioOmegaYT. Thanks for your time, guys. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Automasex and Bobby Meow. Thanks for your support, guys.
喜べ少年.
That's right, rejoice everybody, it's time once again for Let's Talk Fate Grand Order. That show where I do say that stuff about how great Let's Talk Fate Grand Order is. I'm one of your hosts, Interlude Omega, and with me as always is Skill Reinforcement Lucky.
You didn't see me, I just kind of flexed real hard there. But,
maybe today
anyways.
It's Chemical Reinforcement Lucky.
Yeah, more about that in a second. I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka It's Not Over Till Every Irie Sings. And our usual round of disclaimer, we're going to be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EN versions of FGO. So anyone not wanting spoilers should go forth and gather the 4 elements.
By the way, I think you technically said current events, as in the small fruit.
Maybe.
So we will not be talking about fruit events, or will we? Who knows? More importantly, we have a very important question to ask, which is, where the fuck is Ron?
Apparently he has resurrected after a messy encounter. Also is hyped about the new Devil Summoner Gacha game, which even has lower draw rates than FGO. Rip his wallet, because I'm not doing that.
Yeah, rip everybody's wallet who's playing that. That's a shame. That's a SMT/Devil Summoner/Persona is a great universe for that sort of thing, but boy howdy, FGO already gets some criticism over their poor draw rates and lack of safety net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently Braun is talking in our Discord channel now, so hey.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's figured out who he is, though. Despite the fact that he has several special titles. Roles, I should say. Alright, well, let's move right along to our regular stuff, because we don't have a lot of pre-stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and check in with everybody's favorite Kohai.
Senpai, 起きてください.
I think I accidentally fired that a little prematurely because my mouse is being a little weird, but it happens. Hey, welcome to Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for Protips. We got a couple of short ones today, which is first, to max limit break or not max limit break? That is the question.
It's a very good question, but there's usually a few guidelines that you can go on. Like, first off, I would say right off, event CEs, like, while the event's going on, not worth to let max limit break them.
No, if they are giving you more drops, they are almost always worth it as, say, 5 copies rather than 1 singular copy. There's a couple that actually, I think, do a decent enough amount that you can smush them together and be okay. Most of them, no, it's like they do 3 instead of 2. And then, guys, simple math, 2 times 5 is way more than 3 times 1.
Mm-hmm. But usually after the event ends, I smash them all together anyway.
Yeah, for storage. And most reruns, if they're not gacha CEs, most reruns will give you the CEs again anyway.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, when the event eventually reruns, I'll just have just a bit of a heads up.
You'll get a head start.
You gotta remember, your storage space ain't infinite, so you kind of gotta pick and choose.
300 for CEs, and if you're rolling a lot of, like, actually any gacha, but if you do a lot of rolls, that can fill up pretty quick. Yeah.
Another one I want to point out in particular is K-Scope, Kaleidoscope. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Start off the battle with 80% charged MP. It's usually a standard in most wave clearing strategies, especially with berserkers.
Also, if you own a waiver at all.
Yeah. Usually people try to keep 3 to 4 of these in there who can't get them. Keep 3 to 4 just so they can swap in and out people and just basically get real quick.
3 to 4 is good to not max limit break, especially since most strats with K-Scope don't rely on it being 100% anyway.
Yep.
So that's definitely one. Now, you may hear some people talk about Fragments of 2030 as one you don't want to. I would say that's a little similar to Kaleidoscope in that, because yes, technically, if you have like 2 or 3 and you don't max, if it's not ready to max limit break, don't stick them together, because then that gives you even more critical stars. The flip side of that is similar to some of the flip side to K-Scope, though usually, if you're in a position to use multiple K-Scopes, you can and should use them.
Yeah.
The 2030 is just a general all-around buff. The thing is, remember these are all 5-star CEs, so they have a high cost, and it only works in the front row, so there's only so many you can use or need anyway. So if you have enough to max limit break, that can just as easily be worth it as just being like, oh, everybody's got it. Oh, I've got all 5. There, everyone has Fragments 2030. And for
honestly, like, you really shouldn't need more than like 3 of K-Scope or Fragment 30s. So if you got 3 and for some odd reason you get another 4, just max limit break 1.
Yeah, max limit break 1. If you get 2 more and you want to have a single max limit break copy, because remember, max limit breaking also dramatically increases the amount of attack or HP they can give, which is another very key aspect of CEs, which are very important. You will realize this when you have to switch to shitty low-level event CEs. And you're like, why am I not killing things anymore? Oh, right. I suddenly have, like, 500 less attack.
Oh, no. Like,
or worse.
Quick story time. So, my limited 0 over max limit break, and it's like level 71, so it gives my Tamamo Cat, who I usually have it on, like an additional 1,500 attack. Anytime I switch that off, it hurts me, like, so much.
Yeah, because
it's pretty big.
You're losing the damage multiplier that the CE itself gives, and the flat stat bonus. Same as if you use a high HP one. I've done this before and been like, gee, you seem to be dying a lot all of a sudden, Servant. Oh, wait, your HP is actually drastically lowered. So, yeah, no, max limit breaking is important for CEs you use a lot. For, like, farming setups, you're not going to be there quick anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if we're talking about stuff like you use in challenging fights, boss fights, lots of story missions, that sort of stuff, if you're not farming and clearing waves really quick, consider max limit breaking them just so you can do those levels up. And remember to make CE bombs to get that EXP way up there. We'll probably do that as a separate pro tip. In general, otherwise, especially lower star CEs, like 3 stars and 4 stars, of course, max limit break the hell out of those, because that's how you get their best effect. And of course, if it's a CE that is not necessarily an event-tied one, and it has a good effect, always consider max limit breaking it if you can, because, you know, the EXP cap gets higher, which means you can get better attack and HP, like we said, and just, when you max limit break, that effect goes up some. And it can be really good. You know, a jump from, like, a bonus that's like 8% to 10% is huge. Also, we have a second really quick pro tip. When you use bronze apples to restore AP, when you don't have enough AP for a quest, it'll automatically spend enough apples to get you there. It's very convenient. I noticed that the other night, doing some farming for stuff. I was at, like, 20 AP and needed to do a 40 AP quest, and it was like, you want to spend 2 apples? And I'm like, yes, I would like to spend 2 bronze apples with 1 click.
Thank you. You saved me, like, 3 button pushes.
It's very great. It's great. Convenient. Alright, well, let's move on from there. Let's go to Records of the Throne, our regular achievement topic. You've got 2 up front, so you go ahead and go.
Yep, alright. Starting with me, Iris Underboob, I mean Smile, has been protected. She's a good mom. I made the joke, now that we have Boudica and Irie, all we need is a Mama Raiko, and we can have a Chaldea Mothers Association.
I mean, I can't have it. Well, actually, I can. I'd have to roll a Raiko, but that's not very likely.
Yeah, probably not. My other one, which is a bit more significant, is I have gotten all of my Tamamo Cats and Mashes skill to 10. I'm freaking broke now.
I still don't get it. I think I have, like, 1 billion QP.
Yeah, like, Tamamo Cat's getting each of her final skills to 10. They cost 10 million each. Mashes is simpler. Hers only costs 5. I'm guessing because she's only still rated as a rare servant. But, yeah, that's 45 million QP just gone. And both of them started from, like, 5 or 6. So there's even more cost on top of that.
Gotta be crazy. Honest, that's not that hard to make back up, though, during this event. Just
no, man.
Pick your favorite coin spot, farm them. 1 coin is worth, is it 10,000 QP?
Yeah, no, you get 1,000 coins, which you can do in like 2 runs. That's $1 million.
Yeah, no, it's great. People were not kidding when they said this is the most efficient way to farm QP. That's why I say I have like 1 billion, because I don't think I've spent too much of it since the event started, and I've just been making like, you know, a couple million here, a couple million there, and then there's several mission rewards which are like 5 million, 10 million, whatever. Just have a whole fucking bunch.
Yeah, that went all in. Let's raise Tamamo. That's all.
And on my end, I have protected the smiles of Saber Gil, 100 Personas, and Alexander.
Yeah.
That's good, because...
You have protected the Mavs.
Yes, very much so. That's going in the thumbnail. Along with another sprite that I'm sure you can guess and we'll be talking about later. But anyway, yeah. And that's really good for Alexander and Saber Gils, because supposedly they should get a rank-up quest sometime.
Eventually.
You know, hopefully real soon here. Well, that'll be pretty good.
So, moving on. Yeah, moving on. We're going to go on to Not the Old World Evil, but damn close. This isn't directly related to FGO, but it kind of is. So I made the mistake of playing Doki Doki Literature Club at the beginning of my work week. I'm not gonna get into what that is. Like I said, it was pretty infamous in its own right. But the thing is, I felt so strongly about it that it completely wrecked my sleep schedule. Like I'm laying in bed like at 10 o'clock thinking about this game, being angry and sad and everything.
Wow, holy shit! That's like Devilman levels right there.
Yeah. Like, I have some really strong feelings about this game, and that's the reason, like, I wasn't able to sleep. Like, I'm able to sleep now. I finally got over it. But since I couldn't get up in time, because I wouldn't wake up till, like, 4, 5, like, almost 6 o'clock, and, like, have to go straight to work, we haven't been able to record bonus stage yet.
Yeah, we're trying to work on that.
We're trying to.
I will say this, as like, I'm mollifying, like, because some people might be concerned, because, yes, there was a vote about what the next bonus stage topic will be. We're excited to do that. We really want to. We're happy you picked that one. For the next month's Patreon poll, which is coming up, so once again, remind you, the month won't be over by the time the show comes out, so if you want to make sure you can get in there, because we don't demand you pay up front, but I don't know how exactly Patreon processes the stuff, like whether or not you need to be fully checked in and have your authorized and paid up before you can do things, so now's a great time to get in before the month rolls. But I wasn't planning on doing a topic poll that would include a bonus stage topic anyway, so the delay is mostly just we feel bad because we haven't been able to do the content, but it's true, we haven't had the time. Because we don't want to die.
It's my fault.
Luckiest for worst, and like, I want to talk about fucking up sleep schedules. I already kill myself over the weekends doing this stuff, because we record kind of later at night, and then I have to basically stay up to do editing and then make sure it processes and then it uploads and it's posted and all that stuff before I can sleep. So yeah. If you want us to get better about that, please consider supporting us on Patreon, because the more money we make, the less likely it is we have to work, and the more we feel committed to this.
Yep.
So please, onegai. Anyway, let's move to Skelograms, because we got a lot of news to talk about.
Yeah,
well, at least a couple of big, long news topics. Also, yes, we know, we're gonna get fucking scooped on the Fate Apocrypha collab. We're recording on the night of the 28th, which means the Japanese 29th is gonna be somewhere ahead of us. And the show...
Yeah, it's already the 29th in Japan, I think.
Is it? Shit. Well, I hope that maybe the stream won't come out before, like, noonish tomorrow. At the very least, the audio release is going to beat out there. So, once again, give Stella Patreon. The news will stay current. But yeah, so the public release of this probably won't be out until after the news is already hit. Listen, guys, understand, we don't record these in real time. Like, when it's posted is, like, way after when it's done. But first, Japan hit 1,000 days on 4/24, have 10 quarts. People are slightly upset that 1,000 days was just 10 quarts. I feel like Delightworks might have had a busy schedule, though, coming up on some of this stuff, so maybe they don't want to overshadow things. Because we're in the middle of the Fate Apocrypha collab pre-campaign. Much like the one we were doing before the Fate Zero event started, Japan is doing one for the Apocrypha collab that's about to roll out as soon as we're done. Yeah, like I said, the stream will be on the 29th, so soon. The campaign is running from 4.25 to 5.9. I'm sure it's running long because there's a lot of gacha rate-ups in there. Let's just run down the list really quick. So, Siegfried and Atalanta got animation updates. Thank God. They're super good. Like, not just NP updates, but yeah.
Yeah, Atalanta, like, and it sticks out to me because they put a lot more effort into Noble Phantasm. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's not quite the anime level, but it's definitely on the similar vein to we saw from the arcade port. So like, it's way better now. There's a lot more effort put into it, and just in general, she no longer has generic archer animations. She actually has her own animations. She'll like hit people with her bow, and her shots are now much more reminiscent of how she acted in the anime. Siegfried also similarly has got some more diverse attacking animations, and his Noble Phantasm now looks a lot more like the animated version.
Okay, real quick, Omega, I just did some checking. The Chaldea stream is going to be in about 6.5 hours.
Okay, so yeah, the audio for this will be up and processed. The video probably will be done by the time new news comes out. Once again, we are limited by the physical constructs of space and time.
Yeah, we are.
But okay, hey, that's really exciting news. That'll be really good, and maybe people will be searching Fate Apocrypha stuff. Anyway, speaking of Apocrypha, Apocrypha servants get bonuses. You get ×2 friend points when using Apocrypha servants for support, and twice the chance for a super or great success while leveling them, and half AP on all their rank-up quests or interludes. This list includes, it's a long list, Mordred, Siegfried, Atalanta, David, Karna, Benkei, Astolfo, George, as in St. George. Avicebron, Shakespeare, Jack, Semiramis, Vlad 3. I think just the Berserker Vlad 3. Kentucky, Atalanta Alter, Fran, Spartacus, Amakusa, and Jean. Now, you may have noticed some interesting names in there. Those servants, specifically that's Benkei, George, and Kentucky, those are because they're from, and David, too, also. That's because those 4 are from the original Apocrypha concept, back when it was going to be an MMO before it got turned into a light novel. Which, by the way, it's very funny that, other than Kentucky, several of those servants are lower rarity and, while good, are a little underpowered because they were super fucking broken in the concept work. And if you're curious why David was broken, just play Okeanos. Hint, it involves the Ark. You touch it and you die. There's also Apocrypha commemoration CEs from the Red Prism shop. There's some quality of life stuff. What was that, Lucky? Lucky, you were saying something?
Yeah, the commemorative CEs, are they, I haven't seen them. What are they?
I think they're just
from the
anime.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a couple ones where you could, like, log in on this day or do this quest to, like, celebrate the anime coming out or the Blu-rays coming out or something.
Oh,
okay. So there were a couple of events like that, like maybe when it was announced and then when the anime started. So those are normally, like, time-sensitive. Now you can just, during the event, you can just buy them in the Red Prism shop if you're Prisms. Some quality of life stuff about icon size and accessing the present box, so you can access your present box, like, from the enhanced screen or a couple of other screens. Also, you can, like, resize icons in viewing in certain places. I don't really pay too close attention, because God knows when the fuck we get quality of life updates. I can understand the present box one, because, like, when you have to get, like, new CEs or servants, you usually have to go all the way back out to your present box to get them. I'm like, no, I just want to access them. Or, now. Like, if you're doing a lotto or a store and you buy a shitload of EXPs, those present box. Yeah. There have been times when I have tabbed over to enhance and instantly been like, oh, wait, right, I have to back out and go to my present box first. Yeah, I do that a lot. And then, as predicted, there are 2 banners split between black and red factions. This pre-release handles non-new servants and a rotating daily raid-up. So, the black faction banner, and yes, these are actually separate banners, even though they're advertised in one image. The black faction banner includes Jack, Vlad 3, and Jean. The red faction includes Amakus, Semiramis, Mordred, and Karna, and SRs run raid-up all the time. This means that the raid-up of red is more valuable. Hold out for a day for when both Amakus and Semiramis are on raid-up, and you get double limiteds. That's nice. 2 limited servants available. However, that means that black has a slightly better SR raid-up because only regular Atalante is rated up for red, whereas over in the black faction, you've got Fran, Astolfo, and Siegfried. I find that really strange they didn't put Atalante Alter in there. I know she's, like, super new, but, like, I think it's honestly, she's supposed to be somewhat different. I mean, I know she quote-unquote appears in the Apocrypha story, but I think that's because she's supposed to be a separate-ish character, because she is the altered version. Yeah. But maybe they're saving her for the actual banner, because there's going to be a real banner when the actual event starts, and it'll involve others, so who knows? Who knows? But yeah, future me has already thought about this and said, well, I don't need to roll on Valentine's, I'll just wait until there's a day when Mordred and Semiramis are both on raid-up. Yeah, it's good. Clairvoyance EX, it's doing its job. Yeah, so that's a very interesting raid-up. Like we said, we predicted they would do something similar like this because of the factions. It's a pretty easy rollout. Mm-hmm. Admittedly, it doesn't incorporate low rarities like Spartacus or Shakespeare, but hey, what can you do? You've already got a million copies of those guys. Yeah, I'm about to say, if you don't have a MP5 of both of them guys, you probably just start playing today. And trust me, you will get it quickly. Mm-hmm. Because apart from Bunyan, who was a event servant, there have been no bronzes added to the game since it launched. So your expected gain is all the same there. All right, let's move into kind of like a free talk. Woo! Because that's all our newsies out of the way. And let's talk about Zero Order Post-Mortum thoughts, because we're already done with the event. Yeah, originally it was going to be week 2, but then yeah. Then about like 3 days ago, I think. I know I finished all my master mission, all the missions the same day you did. So yeah. It was like, what, a couple days ago? Yeah, a couple days ago, because we had to wait until the 25th for it to actually activate all of them. The last couple of missions. Yeah, and I finished mine on 26 because, boy howdy, those last few missions, those were AP heavy. Yeah, they were AP heavy. They were a little bit of hard work. I was like, I thought to myself, oh, right, shit, I have to actually play FGO now. Because previous farming was basically cruise control. All right, who's got a high level event servant in a support slot where it's pick my dedicated allied servant, maybe throw MASH in there, you know, when you can just cruise on a quest with Mash on the front line, it's pretty easy street. Like, she's good, but the fact that she takes and gives neutral damage to most things means she's not optimal for most quests, but just, yeah, no, you can do whatever.
Hey, she's a zero-cost servant. She definitely has her niche.
Oh, I mean, I have... The final slot in my team is almost always Mash, usually holding some kind of, like, bonus-y, like, heroic portrait or beginning of a journey. Same. As my, like, last resort, but I don't usually throw her on the front lines unless it's, like, a story chapter, because then I'm like, these levels are going to be, like, 1 million lower. Though, she should be getting more upgrades in our next story chapter, so hopefully we can raise that. I'm waiting until she can get multiple levels of NP. You know, get some overcharge in there. That'd be great. Alright, but let's go ahead and jump in with our last couple talks about this story, because we weren't done with that last week, and some other stuff.
So first off, once you get to the end, you know, you see, like, the big twist, and something that was interesting that definitely popped up was master actions, that's what I'm calling them, from, Mato and Justice. They were a big surprise.
I posted this in the spoiler chat. Even though I knew it could happen, because I saw somebody screen cap it earlier, still it was right away, first turn, you're fighting Lancelot, and it's like, Zoken uses a command seal. I was like, what? Literally,
yeah.
what?
Here comes Lancelot MP, straight out the gate.
Luckily, all of the servants in Zero Order, all the enemy servants in are actually most of the enemies are balanced to have quite high HP but terrible attack.
I was even more. I had my Tamamo cat, but I was lucky because like first turn I popped the waiver skills and her morph, so I was like, oh, thank God. Oh.
Yeah, no.
It still could have ended real badly.
But still, yeah, no, it's not as huge as you'd think because it's a quick AoE NP. But still, it was shocking. And then when you fight Justice, the Black Grail acts first, and you're like, wait, what?
What? It's like, excuse you.
Excuse me, I don't think this is how this works. As you know, you're cursed and slowly dying from dot.
Still, though, I liked it. It added something different.
Yeah, no, it was.
It's like when you're fighting like another master or something, you should kind of expect something like this to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't a stupid gimmick or a gimmicky gimmick, but it was an interesting way to make fights different without just being goofy or anything about it, or just being like really dumb stuff.
Yeah, But speaking of the Black Grail, those sprites were yes, welfare Justice win. Yeah,
so a slightly separate topic, but since now we're adding servants to collab reruns, who do you want to add to future reruns, like how Fujino was added to Garden of Order?
I actually had a couple suggestions. Lord M. Oh my God!
Two L's and an Oi.
Version of Volume Hydra. Oh God, no.
Volume and Hydrogyrum. That's okay.
Thank you.
Nobody remembers
it's actually like read this when I was doing a little bit of research, but apparently he does inherit that magic, and for some odd reason turns it into a maid who gets influenced by I don't remember what it was and turns into like a battle junkie. I think that'd be a great berserker. Another idea I had, which was kind of funny, but then I actually thought it actually made a lot more sense the more I looked into it, was Kyrie Lily. I mean, like seriously, like if you look into him, like before he got like mind fucked by Gilgamesh and drowned in Grail mud, he was still kind of a sociopath, but he worked for the church. He did some solid stuff. I think he'd be a servant. He doesn't need he doesn't need to be a demi-servant, because Fujino wasn't.
And honestly, have you seen Kirei? He could be an urban legend.
Yeah, he can.
So I really hope this image is, because I'd love to use it in the thumbnail. And then also continuing from that earlier thought, also seriously, yes, playable Black Girl Wen. It's not like we don't already have palette swap welfares, and she has her own skills and NP, which could be tweaked to be scalable.
So funny story about NPs. So when I was doing the final quest, because in a shocking yet not so shocking twist, the extra missions are literally Irie quests, gather all the elements. And I was doing a battle with one of them, and I already had my Irie. I think she was already like MP 2 or 3. And fighting her, she had her full MP bar. And me thinking, it's just like my Irie. She's just gonna do Song of Grail and heal her teammates, whatever. I'll just get going. No, her Song of Grail like just whacked me. I was like, shit.
No, all 4 elemental Iries
have
the offensive version.
Yeah. I was like, shit.
So there's the dark, and then there's fire, earth, water, and air, or wind.
Yeah.
Which all have their own, which all do the direct damage AoE, but each has a different effect. So I don't remember them all, but Black Grail is chance to death each turn. I think is it wind that's chance to stun each turn. Water. One of them I think has a chance to remove your buffs each turn.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what all of them do, but they all do a different thing that's like a per turn effect. But yeah, no, that's what I said. Like, you could totally tweak the enemy only not that I think every enemy only like character should be a playable servant also, but some of them should be. And like Black Grail totally works. If regular Dress of Heaven works, then Black Grail just Diesel works. And like I said, she has her own 3 unique skills. Mm-hmm. They're probably a little niche, but
honestly, I mean, you look at your child day, you got freaking anti-heroes and straight up villains hanging around. It's not that far fetched.
Yeah, I'm just thinking her mechanical niche might be a little, because her 3 skills are reduce enemy healing amount, curse damage, and then self NP buff. But I guess that works though if you're thinking about like doing. She could easily be like a wave clear example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got an NP steroid, the ability to suppress enemies from recovering themselves, and then also do decent levels of dot. And like I said, you just make them scalable. It's there. There you got it.
Boom.
She's got an AoE impact NP that's got a decent damage, and yeah, just a thing. It could work.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the main story, I did have to say I did like the post-credit scenes, and I could almost see the point where Urobuchi changed this to a happier ending. I feel it was like right around the time you stormed the Mato.
When Ryder just destroys the Mato house.
Yeah. I feel like it was just around that point.
Mm-hmm. That totally makes sense for him for it to be something he would do. Just, hey, guess what? Fucking nobody ever interacted with Karia.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, there's a lot of people who just didn't show up. Like, Takomi didn't show up, Kiria didn't show up.
Not in person.
Like, the servants were there.
Their influence was felt, but no, they didn't show in person, which I think that makes sense, though. Like, Waver would probably avoid Takomi because he would not be as easily manipulated as the original Lord El Meloy. And I don't know I assume Waver figured out that, at least that Waver figured out that Kirei was a bad dude, because the Waver that is playable says that he took place in the 4th war, he observed the 5th war, and he stopped the 6th war. He helps Rin theoretically dismantle the Greater Grail in his timeline. So he probably knows Kirei was a bad dude. So he would not want to go anywhere near those guys. But yeah. And obviously we talked about how Ryunosuke does not physically show up.
Yeah.
Technically his corpse appears in a scene, but it's just not shown.
Yep.
But yeah, no.
Going back to like
the post credits.
Yep. I have named Angry Man you both sworn enemy and comrade, and a blushing Irie is exactly what the doctor. Like, if you did not compliment her on the dress of Heaven, shame on you. Shame.
It's a good dress. Supposedly they originally planned for her to have like, because like the way some of her dialogue is, and I think some of the art direction, she was planned to be a regular servant with like different ascension level arts, and then several of them were kitbashed together to form the dress of Heaven form you get.
Mm-hmm. But talking about
I don't think it was
like, I thought he was going to be a bit.
Way that Welfers would not change sprites.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. In case you don't know, Welfers don't alter their sprites at all.
Like, real talk, when I ran into Angry Manu, I thought he was going to be more of a kind of an asshole, kind of a dick. It's like, honestly, I can't dislike his personality.
That's not really the Angry Mango. I mean, he is a little bit of a troll and he's a little petty, but because he's an Avenger, he's still all the world's evil. But he's not really a bad guy. Because, in case you don't know, Angry Manu is not actually literally the Persian personification of all the world's evil. He's just some dude that his village said, You are Angry Manu. We will now kill you to destroy all evil.
Yeah, he was literally a sacrifice. And, he took all that resentment.
He's just a villager with the urban legend of a guy who's all evil. That's why he is a quote-unquote 0-star servant in game.
Yeah. But, I thought he'd be, like, a little bit more, like angry as an Avenger. No, he's pretty sure. He's like, he complains a lot. But first thing he does, he tries to grow up MASH, and I'm all like, It's like, 10 out of 10, did not expect.
Click.
Then I beat him up.
Yeah, that's when you put on your Royal Brand costume and pull out your gun. Just Cronus Rosen right in the back of the head. Oh, my chair's really creaky. Anyway, yeah, so that's a fun the EX chapter, the epilogue. And the way the way the story actually ends is really cool. Like, Assassin Emiya stays behind and supposedly fights the actual all the world's evil while the music swells. It's really neat.
Something I do like. I'm not sure if it was a good or a bad thing, but they allude to it in the story, but you never actually find out who the assassin is. Like, he never takes off his hood.
That's only something he does in the ending sequence to Angra.
Yeah. It's like, so, like, when you take Irie back and everyone goes back, everyone's just like, oh, okay, happy ending, woo! And I find that weird that Waver didn't, like, question, like, how that was different. How Kiritsugu, like, never made an appearance.
I don't know, I think he just
because you find out during the story that Irie is the legitimate master of Saber, and Waver's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Waver unpacks it, he's like, oh, shit, that's why the timeline is different. The Einsburns have perfected the homunculus one generation early, which it turns out is bad, because if they win, it's bad.
Because apparently,
funnily enough, it's natural that the Einsburns fuck up. This was, technically it's been known since the original Fate Stay Night, but it was not necessarily properly translated, because there's no official English translation. Thanks, Type Moon. When are you going to do that? Seriously. But, the Einsburns are in possession of the Rheingold, the cursed treasure from the legend of Siegfried. But this became known to the public when Siegfried got his animation update, because he also got My Room lines updated. So he will randomly just talk about how the Einsburn family owns his cursed treasure now.
Oh, shit.
In case you're ever wondering why nothing ever goes well for the Einsburns, it's their own fucking fault. They own a giant pile of cursed gold. It's unlimited wealth, but misfortune follows you everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of stealth world building there.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so you're right. Waver doesn't outright say that he I think he should be able to tell, because Assassin Emiya, the Counter Guardian, uses the Calico and the Contender, but he never outright states it as that he figures out that guy's the Magus killer.
Yeah, Irie, gets a feeling, but, you know, never really.
She, feels like they're connected.
It's like, but, like, after, like, playing, like, this event, like, I have, like, my urge to gather the frickin' Emiya family together has, like, magnified. Now that I have the mom, I'm like, no, I need...
Well, good luck with that, cause...
Yeah.
Limited casters.
Kuro's the welfare, right?
Yes, that's real easy. Just play that event, and you're gonna want to do that anyway, because guess what? She's amazing!
Oh.
Just imagine if regular Emiya had a fucking single-target Arts Noble Phantasm. Just imagine how cool he would be then. And there you go, that's that. NP for days. And she's a free NP fighter.
I need the whole, like, Emiya family portrait. So I need Assassin Emiya, Irie, then I need, Archer. I need both of them, just because so they can be angry brothers together. Then I need the little sisters. I need, like, all 6. I think I can't fit that all in a single team. I can put that in a support setup. Nope, no, I can't. Damn it! Oh, well. I'll figure it out. I'll use someone's support.
We'll figure it out. There are plenty of Emiya family, extended, and... Also, people are just waiting for the Muramasa to come in. You can build the super harem.
Mm-hmm.
Just slap all of the FSN characters together. Put him in like the all slot. You can get Saber, Ishtar, Eresh, or actually it would be Pavarti because she's a Lancer. You're doing a support setup.
Yeah. Get
Medusa in there. Medea just cause. Put Heracles as the Berserker as a joke. You could also put Castor Ilia, I guess, but you should. Just because it's fun. Also, you remember we can get Jaguar Man later.
Oh yeah,
AKA
I keep slipping
fucking
my mind.
Taiga.
It's fucking Taiga.
I think she's the free one for the Babylonian chapter too, which would be fucking amazing. Huh. Yeah,
we still got
it's definitely Bedivere for Camelot, which is really cool because Bedivere's a story lock 3-star, son of a bitch.
What?
Yes. I believe it actually makes sense in the story for him to be story locked for a reason, but still. Yes, it's a free one that also is a story lock, so, well, you're gonna get one copy for sure. Good luck with the rest. Well, lots of people will probably be rolling on Camelot banners anyway, because there's a lot of good 4 and 5 stars there. Ozzy, Nito, Lancelot,
do you want me Nito?
Gawain, Lancer Artoria, the regular version. But yeah, so, also one last thought. When you beat everything, when everything is beaten, you get a super ultimate final quest at the end with an 800k Darius 3 boss battle. It's a real stand-up fight. You even get a support Iskandar.
I shouldn't have taken that. I shouldn't have taken the support Iskandar. I should have taken something else. I actually had to use my command seals on it.
I did not, I am happy to say, but that's because I had John Alter in my back row. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this the fun way, but in my back row, John's. So, guess what? Support Iskandar folded right away. He kept getting bullied by neutral damage from those fucking skeletons, who were not high HP, but had plenty of attack. So he folded, but using Mash and Luminosity, I tanked, like, 2 Athanaton 10,000s. And whittled away at that 800k HP. Whittled that bitch. Well, yeah, that's a real fucking FGO fight.
Yeah, it was.
And your reward is 5 Black Beast Grease.
Which was the only item that they didn't give out in missions or the rewards, so I'm okay with it.
I think there was a mission or was a quest, another quest word. I think there's another place where you can get, like, 5. But yeah, no, it's not common in the event.
Yeah.
There's only a few of them. It's not like a store item.
Yeah.
Which is actually important because I believe it is definitely one of Hunter Persona's Ascension items, and I believe it's also an Ascension item for Angra. So it's good that the event actually gives you a few, but yeah, no. In future, those kinds of quests are usually the ones that give you the crystallized lore. In this case, you get 2 for completing all the missions, which is good. I'm glad. You have to, so it requires you to complete that quest anyway. But still. That was good to get, for real. However, I think we blew past the Irie quest a little. While it was AP intensive, how cool was that? 4 different Irie sprites, each with different abilities.
Yeah.
They each do different things. They have different classes. They have unique dialogue.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into this Irie quest because they did the thing like they did in Garden of Order, where, like, you know, after you get done with all the super serious stuff, it's like let's take a turn into the weird and fantastical.
Yeah, let's relax. Let's have a gag episode where Angra Manu tries to touch Bash's boob. He tries to mash her marshmallows. And he does this because he is lying dead on the floor because the Iries have beaten him up. And left him
originally,
for dead.
It's hilarious too because the Iries originally weren't that mean, but then Fire Irie like got pissed off and revolted and led them all out, and they're just like, what's going on?
Also, Fire Irie is a berserker, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think this is a great reason for how you get all your extra copies. You literally go out and beat up the extra copies and you fuse them to the main one.
You stick them all back together.
Yeah.
And you get your extra.
It's like for ones that actually
levels, which is good because that group heal low. I will say this, you know, we've talked a little about it. I know by the time this video is public, I think Voice should have released. He's going to do a video on Irie.
Oh. I'll be saying how goddamn adorable she.
Probably, but you know him and his mother. Anyway, that's right. I'll call Voice out because he'll call himself out.
Oh.
I've watched him stream. I know what he likes. Did you? You probably haven't seen his thumbnail for the stream he did for Zero Order, did you?
What was it?
It involves some Black Grail art. I may have dubbed it in the art dump before. I feel like I have a picture. That's good. It involves a blushing quartz also. But yeah, so we talked a little about that both when we were on with him and then in future. But I gotta say, like, at times, yeah, her own NP game feels a little sluggish, which is kind of bad for an arts-focused servant who needs to spam her NP. But honestly, she can still do it pretty reliably. I've been doing it a couple times a mission when I brought her. Obviously, she's a fucking caster, so you're not expecting her to do a lot of damage.
Honestly, her MP, like, especially now that I got MT5, it's...
Yeah, no, that group heal and that guts, that's great.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's real pretty good. I mean, like I said, I do think it's bad that her first skill is such a slot waste, like...
Yeah, like, it's so weird.
It ups like, her healing for 1 turn, so her NP or her third skill, which is a targeted heal, heals more, but it's only like, it's a very small amount at start. It's just, like, it's so small, and you're like, God, you gotta put so much resources into leveling this skill before it's any better than just doing more NP. So I think she's a little limited, but, you know, for a fucking free servant, the group heal's pretty good.
Free is free, and man, I'm all about that, like, that Final Ascension art. That is, good civ. I just want to lay my head in her lap and have her call me a good boy.
Mysteriously vanishes?
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some dialogue about that. Just go ahead, go to your list. But anyway, let's see. How long are we going? 45 minutes? We got a lot of stuff still to blow through here. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Alrighty.
There were some new Extella-Link PVs for Astolfo and Scathach.
Yeah, they're really good. Show off a lot of combat and the MP.
She showed top tier. She's got the jiggle. She's got the fucking bicycle kick from her assassin form, and we get to see the first depiction of her Gate of Sky NP. Like, full blown, they show you the animation.
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she summons a giant gate which sucks all the enemies into the void and then just walks away.
Mm-hmm. Gynaxing hard.
And Astolfo's pretty typical.
Hyper.
Got a lot of fun actions, and then his NP is just Hippogriff, teleports around and just slams lots of people and then explodes while he faces away at the camera, does the big V.
Like, we say it like teleports around, but it does that thing where an anime where they zip around and leave a light trail.
Yeah, no. Just...
Yeah,
the Phantasm Circuit version of Hippogriff's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Just coming at the enemy from all angles until the platform they're standing on explodes. And like I said, Astolfo
good job. You made that probably look a lot more badass than it really is.
Yeah. Well, we've already seen, like, the FGO version is just, he teleports a little and just stabs her with the lance. But yeah,
animation update.
I don't know. I don't know if the machine can handle that much. But
I don't know. They keep upping. Oh.
Yeah. So let's jump into a new segment. Gaze into the future with me, everyone. Let's use near future observation lens Shiba, the May edition, May 18 edition. I want to say June for some reason, but that's terribly wrong.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why. So yeah, this is just us. I tried to map out to the best of my abilities to math across time and space, which, let me tell you, is hard sometimes.
Space and time is hard, alright?
I have tried to predict the rough timeline of events as they unfolded in Japan, transplanted to us, the English server. So, as discussed before, Rank Up 2 should be about a week before Fate Zero ends. It should be approximately on 5-3. So we got a few days left, but I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful for that, because Medusa should be in that batch. I don't really want that third skill. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me. There's a couple others. So, there was a Scathach Kintoki banner, which happens about a week after Fate Zero ends and runs for a week. So that would be, on that timescale, that would be approximately 5/17 to 5/24, which is in advance of how it was actually, like, in Japan by several days. This is probably the most likely to be moved or pushed up because it's just a banner, it's no other event, and it runs for like a week. So we could easily see this start right away when Fate Zero ends. So the Rashomon event and the Shuten banner happens about a week after Kintoki starts and runs 2 weeks. So based on the Japanese timescale, this would be about 5/23 to 6/6, approximately, okay? Mm-hmm. And then in Japan, Journey to the West began immediately after Rashomon and ran 2 weeks. And we might get Rank Up 3 in there somewhere as a spacer. It and the 6 million DL, which would be like probably 3 million DLs for us, or maybe a milestone or a Facebook milestone or something. That ran when Journey to the West ended right away. By the way, in case you're curious, that's a Scathach banner. Is the 6 million DL.
AKA, all this means rip wallets.
Yes. The month of May begins what I like to call Your Wallet is Dead. Or should I say, Your Wallet is Already Dead. Yeah. Because we are looking at...
I've been, like...
back to back to back with several limiteds, and at the very least, Sanzo, by the way, thanks, Discord, for letting us know that's how she pronounced her name, so we could not have that problem anymore. But, while she's not limited, she won't appear again until Camelot chapter drops, which will be also quite a while. So, yeah. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, I don't know about everyone else, but as I said, I told last week, I haven't spent anything Fate Zero. I'm saving for Shaman.
Yeah, I've continued to tickets at Fate Zero, which is good for me because I got one of the 5-star CEs, but I've also gotten fucking nothing else but that, which saddens me deeply. Why
but,
tickets?
like,
why?
Seeing...
This is another like weird superstition conversation.
In Discord, but I'm just like, her.
Yeah, no, the Buddha is good. I've got at least 2 rolls saved up. It really depends on whether or not Rashomon or anything else in this time period gives me any quartz. Yeah. Hopefully they do a pre-campaign for at least like 3 more. But yeah, no. Definitely gonna be able to... I have like 51 right now. Definitely gonna have at least 2 rolls. We hope for that. That's not a lot, but it's what I got so far. I'm hoping for more quartz. Game, give more quartz. But
all gems now.
Here's a like a weird superstition fluff topic we can maybe talk about. I don't want to take too long because obviously the episode's getting older and we do have at least one more major topic to cover, as voted on by the fans. But do you ever feel like some banners don't like you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Fate Zero banner doesn't like me. It gave me 1 CE that I really wanted, and then it's just not a lot of nothing, like not relevant CEs on tickets or anything like that. Like, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like there are banners that just don't like you. They don't reward you on tickets or courts or nothing.
Like, honestly, I felt this way for the Jalter banner, because it would not stop giving me event CEs. Like,
but it's good.
Like, I kind of expected, like, to be getting something else inside, but no, I just got so many event CEs. I'm, like, getting, like, 2 to 3 of them, like, of the same one in a single pool. I'm like, why is this? Stop. No, right, I want something else. Like, rate up is a lie and yet not a lie. What is this duality? It's like, make space for other things.
Yeah, so,
I want a good spread here.
If you've ever felt like a banner didn't like you, let us know. Maybe we'll talk more about that in a future topic. Alright, Lucky, you wrote this, so you go ahead and take it away for like 5 seconds.
Alright, so, one of our last topics here. Good news, everyone! Heaven's Feel is premiering the English dub version in June. It's being done by Fathom Events, so you can expect a lot more theaters to be participating in it this time, so, you know, it'll reach, like, a lot more people. There's going to be only one showing on both June 5th and the 7th, but tickets won't be sold until May 4th. So, everyone prep their wallets.
Hey, may the 4th be with you.
Mm-hmm.
We can say that, because we fucking love Star Wars.
As I said, like, personally, like, this is, like, I'm super okay with this, because Fathom Events is how I went to go see the No Game, No Life Zero movie in theaters. And they actually, if you, like, go to their page, they actually have a section just dedicated to anime movies. Usually it's just, like, a bunch of Studio Ghibli films, because they do Ghibli Fest. But, like, once in a while, you'll find, like, a few other titles in there. Like, they're doing the Digimon movies. They're doing the Hanabi movie, like, Should We Watch It From the Side? Or doing that one. And they'll just add more as they go on. So it's something good to check in every once in a while. Because, honestly, like, going to see, like some good tier anime movies in theater, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
great date idea.
Cool.
I don't care.
Also, that's a thing that is oddly American, because I have heard anyway. I don't know if this has changed in recent years, but I've heard in the past that anime is not. It's not necessarily seen quite the same way as it is, as we think of it in the U.S. is a niche, but it's still just all cartoons. So there is a hint of, like, childishness to it in Japan. So, like, if you're a grown-ass, working-class person, like, it's a little weird if you go see children's cartoon movies in the middle of the day, because most anime is theoretically aimed at that, like, you know, late teens bracket, like, you know, high school or college-age people who have free time.
Yeah, but we say this, but anime movies in Japan, they make some records. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's like I said. I don't know if that's, like, changed in recent years, but that is something I heard in the past.
Like, Detective Conan movies, for some odd reason, stupid popular. I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so fucking long-running.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different show and a different topic about anime movies. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe we can do a anime power talks about anime movies sometime. Here, let me just add to your workload.
Great.
I need you to do the Isekai episode. I need you to write a movie episode. I need you to write an episode about
Gacha games and cute girls.
Yeah, mobage.
Like, I literally have,
another
like,
one I wanted to joke. I meant is like half a joke. What was it? Was it? I don't know. We'll get into it sometime. I'll think of it by the time we record Anime Power Hour. Yeah. But hey, as we go down the final stretch, it's time for a topic to return. Technically, we probably should have done this last week, but nobody really cared. So, hey, let's do Servant Spotlight. Woo! It's coming back. And hey, in shocking nobody, the poll winner was, drumroll, not really, because I'm not going to hit the drumroll button because it's really long, but it's Hans. Hans won. Yay! Fanfare somewhere in there.
Ta-da!
I could probably find a very loud button to hit. I don't know. Yeah, you know. You never see it coming. Maybe that button. Who knows?
Find a button?
Yeah. Future Lucky will laugh at that heartily.
Oh.
But yeah, so let's talk about everybody's favorite crit author. So we don't really have a nailed down format for Servant Spotlight, but we'll talk a little about some stuff. So Hans is a 2-star. He's only a bronze, but that means you do get a lot of copies of him, which is good. You can max out his NP easily, which is helpful. He's a caster, obviously. Most authors tend to be. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about, like base stats-wise? He's got a arts-focused deck, as you'd expect from a caster. You know, leans more towards HP than attack. His attack is pretty low, all told. But again, what were you expecting, caster? The beautiful thing about Hans, I think, is his NP and skills. So if you're not familiar with Hans and why you should be using him, just because he's a low-cost servant who's really good, Let's run you through his skills real quick. So his first skill is Human Observation, which increases all allies' crit strength for 3 turns. It starts at 10% and ends at 40%. That's real good, guys. 3 turns of crit up. His second skill is just pretty normal. It's rapid casting. Increases your NP gauge significantly. It starts at 50% and goes to 75%. So throw one of those 50% charge type CEs on him, and you can charge turn 1.
Halloween Princess is...
Yeah. Well, maybe not Halloween Princess, because I don't know how MP Strength interacts with his, but there are a couple others, like Scholars of Chaldea, Teacher and I, the Fate Zero, Store CE, his Rightful Place also does, I think, 50% charge at max limit break. And also generates stars per turn, I think is what it does, which meshes really well, because, hey, guess what? Mr. Hans' third skill, or I should say, in that case, Mr. Anderson, is Innocent Monster, which it does, unfortunately, decrease his defense by almost 15% for 3 turns, but for those 3 turns, you gain critical stars. Starting at 3 per turn, but it goes all the way up to 9 at level 10, so he is basically a 20-30. Yeah, it's real good. So you can see clearly what you use Anderson for. You pop Innocent Monster, you gen stars, and then you drop Human Observation to have allies who use those stars get powered up. And on top of that, and then he's got an Arts Mobile Phantasm, Barkenmene 11. That's my best attempt to pronounce that because it's something in German? Danish? I don't know. He's from Denmark. Maybe it's Danish. It's a story just for you, which has 2 buffs or 3 buffs once you do his NP interlude, which you should do as soon as possible. Which is, now it's a chance base, which is obviously, that's always a little dodgy. But at NP5, which you're likely to get for him, it's an 80% chance that it will add attack up and defense up, and then when you do the interlude, it's also C-star drop rate up. The amount is based on overcharge for 3 turns, so at 500% it goes to 40% up. And then, also, you always get, this isn't a random roll, you always get HP per turn for 3 turns, which starts at 1,000 HP per turn and goes all the way to 3,000 HP per turn at 500% overcharge.
Oh, jeez.
So, that's kind of like why before we were a little harsher on Irie, because you get this guy up to max charge for much cheaper. He will, over time, recover more HP than she does in a single burst heal. However, like I said, he doesn't get the attached to guts effect, and all his other effects are random. He is not a full-blown healer because it's over time, but he is much more general support. But for his low cost, pretty good. His Ascension's also fairly easy, at least now it is. Shittiest thing in there is he needs 6 horseshoes.
Shoes!
He also needs some shoes for his skills up, which is a pain in the butt. But, hey, people get over it. So yeah, that's what he's good for. He's a great team heal, good in arts teams because he's got another arts card for you. Got a solid array of buffs, and then obviously his skills also buff really good, specifically for crits. So, lore-wise, it's pretty easy. He's a historical person, a historical character, author of everyone's favorite, comfortable, cozy, super great works, like The Little Mermaid and The Matchstick Girl. Oh wait, those don't make you feel good at all.
No, they don't.
Thanks, Hans.
It's like subtle reminder that Disney movies actually usually, alter things a lot.
Yeah, they usually spin up most fairy tales. Yeah. you think they're dark and spooky. They're a little softballing. Crank up your classic Grimm sometime.
Mm.
But yeah, so the reason why Hans appears as a child is kind of because of this, because he has the Innocent Monster skill, and he is a great voice disparity.
Yeah.
He sounds like a super deep old man, because he died when he was 70 years old. But he looks like a little kid. So because his works are thought of as and he's thought of a gloomy, heartless person, and he writes child stories, he kind of appears in a childish form. And it's not mentioned anywhere in FGO, but in the original Extra CCC, which is where it came from, it mentioned his body under the sleeves and stuff has burn scars or fish scales and things from his associated from his stories, which is probably another reason why he's so cantankerous all the time. Which he is. Yes, he's very snarky.
I will say that it's always hell of amusing to just see how angry he is in that little body, especially when he's writing, because he never has a good time writing.
No, he's constantly trying to finish his manuscript. He hates deadlines. He hates publishers. He may or may not hate the readers. He just wants to write.
During the London chapter with Shakespeare and Hans in that room, and it's just a battlefield of writing. It's just ugh. It's great.
Yeah, I believe in life, Anderson was one of those people who suffered a lot of setbacks and frustrations, as a lot of now famous artists did. Like, did you know Van Gogh only sold, like, one painting while he was alive? And he painted a shitload, but he only sold one. And, of course, Hans is... Noble Phantasm is really interesting. A story just for you. The idea is that it's based on the manuscript for Anderson's autobiography, The True Story of My Life. So, theoretically, he can write a book or a manuscript about a person, and by describing their ideal way of living, he can make their body become the ideal form. But that means he actually write a book, so...
Yeah, he does this for nursery rhyme in London.
Yeah, he...
Basically, by using his Noble Phantasm, he gives her a form, a concept, more solidly. So you can actually fight her.
He realizes... He observes, which is, as we mentioned, his first skill, and he figures out what form nursery rhyme could possibly take, and he basically scribbles the Alice form into reality in London. So you no longer have to fight a book.
I don't know if that what happens in Extra. Well, Extra.
No,
I don't play it. I don't know it.
Yeah. Well, you already saw it because we watched Last Encore. That's basically it. Rhyme's appearance is similar to her summoner Alice because reasons. But yeah, so that's what's up with Hans. He's a salty author.
Salty
all the
Shota.
time. Yes, he's real short and he's real salty. Actually, let's see, what's his height? It's listed in his profile. Height 146 centimeters, weight 39 kilograms.
Often seen shipped with nursery rhyme. It is a cute couple.
Also occasionally seen hanging out with Kiara for reasons from CCC, but that's just because I think their interpersonal relationship in that game is funny together because Kiara is Kiara and he's Hans. I think it's even mentioned in CCC that, like, they say his Noble Phantasm, in order to work, it has to inflame his lust as an author. That is, his lust for character development. But given the way that he writes, that's not necessarily a good thing. But as usual, he's a pretty interesting character to think about, just his interaction with both the greater Fate setting and just in the game in general. A real fun character when he shows up. And his... these authorial Noble Phantasms are all usually pretty interesting. Maybe we'll talk about Shakespeare sometime. Anyway, that's done. We're over an hour.
Whoop.
So we're gonna go ahead and do this down. So the next poll set will be Drake, Jolter, and I decided on Leonidas as the third, because I used him a couple times during the Da Vinci event to farm, and I've got him pretty decently high leveled, so I did his rank up and stuff. So we can talk a little bit about that guy. Some people would appreciate that. People like the low stars. I'm trying to think. There was a fourth possible servant that I thought of recently, but I didn't write down because obviously we're full up. But I'll think of it again if it was important. Be sure to suggest possible CEs or servants in the comments. Let us know who you want in the polls to come up. That's kind of how we got the suggestion for Drake, and roundaboutly how we got the suggestion for Hans, because people were like, bronzes. And remember to actually take the poll. If you're watching this video on YouTube, go ahead and click the little I. Literally, it's the letter I. That'll open up the cards, and there should be the poll in there. Just vote on whoever you want to win. If you're listening to this and you can't see the YouTube version yet, just wait a couple. There's no harm in just clicking on the video to answer the poll. Anyway, I know some people have been like, do a straw poll, but this is just as efficient because I don't have to do all that extra stuff. There's no extra links clicking. Nobody has to if there's watching on mobile, has to click out and go to a whole thing. It's fine. It's just in the video. So one more thing to mention, you may remember our classic segment, Putting on the Exposition Glasses, where we've exposited about thing. Kind of a fan request. I'm thinking about renaming this section to Teach Me Omega Sensei, which Lucky will have to say in his best kawaii voice.
Oh my god, no.
I said it. People are going to demand it now.
Shit!
And basically, I think we'll probably reserve these for topic votes on Patreon, because otherwise we don't really know when to put them in. So
yeah, we do a lot as is.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I'll just leave these up. I've got a third one I came up with to do this, so this will probably be the poll. We'll talk about it there. Go ahead and check. If you're at the voting level, our silver and above, you can vote in our monthly topic polls. We've got a few people who can do that now, so as soon as the new month rolls over, be sure to check that out. The poll will go for a couple weeks, so you don't have to check right away. And then when it's done, we will hopefully go ahead and move on to that. Alright, so that's that. Let's move into Master Feedback, because there's no meme of the week this week.
We weren't that funny.
RIP.
It's like I was half dead and Omega was busy.
Yeah, I was doing, like I said earlier this week, at least one day I didn't do any videos that day specifically because I had to get my teeth cleaned. But yeah, let's Master Feedback. So basically this is, how do people feel about episodes possibly coming out a day or two later than they do now to make video editing? Basically, audio would still be right away as soon as I get it edited. This would just put the release, I should say, a couple days down the line. to make sure we've got that gap to actually turn around the video and stuff. It's not, like, super severe, but it would, for longtime fans, you'd still definitely notice it. It would be, like, we record on Saturday night, so it wouldn't be until, like, Sunday or Monday. Actually, yeah, probably later than, like, Monday for public release or even later.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, like, turnaround times for how long it would take me to edit some stuff. Let's talk, let's talk FGO would take me a little while. Probably, like, it wouldn't take me, like, as long as I'm not using a stupid amount of video, it wouldn't take me that long. But as I said, I literally have to listen to the whole thing, make time codes of where I want to insert things, find images, like, put them in, make sure, like, transitions are all good and whatnot. It could take me, like, several hours if I'm just using, like, static images. If I get video, that's even longer. And the more I add to a video, the longer it takes to render on YouTube. So
yeah, hey, if you're curious, like, as is, just putting a static image background to this, plus a couple of, like, extra inserts at the back and front, with the amount of audio we have, because for some reason I render these in HD. I probably don't have to, but just it looks better.
And audio can be HD too,
but just physically and in general. But that takes like 3 or 4 hours sometimes for that video to render, depending on how long these are. And that's just not even doing anything. Like, now obviously my machine's probably not optimized for that sort of thing. Lucky, I think yours is probably a little better in that regard. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, I know you run some games that I'm pretty sure I can't, or you run them better. But yeah, no, it takes a while, guys. That's nothing we can do about that unless you guys are gonna pay us enough to, like, buy render farms, which is in the future.
Honestly, once I start making these videos, I'll probably, well, actually no, I probably have to give them the Omega, be like, Omega, make sure this is all right.
Do quality assurance.
Yeah. It's like, here's the thing about quality control. Never check your own work and call it okay.
Yeah,
always have someone else
hey,
look
guess
over
what, guys? That's not how editing works. You can't read your own shit, because then you end up with voice science, which I never would have picked up.
Yeah, so I would literally have, like, so honestly, like, I probably could still render it, but I'd still have to wait for Omega to look at it, watch it, and then say, all right, put it up. So, you know, still time gap.
Yeah, no. Like, right now, we already have, like, a feedback loop. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have to... We don't listen back to the audio, because guess what? We just recorded it. We know what's in it. Mm-hmm. We don't record so long that we forget what we said, that we realize, oh, man, we should really, you know, cut this out or cut that out or whatever. That all gets tightened up in audio anyway. But we already do a thing where I send it out to Lucky so he can review the audio for me, which would be like, hey, can we put some, you know, we do show notes, do timestamp codes. So, hey, if you don't want to listen to us talk about this topic, you can just click at the next time code and jump to the ending.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's already a turnaround time that takes a period of time, because, hey, that means Lucky has to have a free, like, hour, 10 minutes to listen to this and jot it all down.
Yeah. It's like, it's not like I'm just doing that straight on, because as a lot of people said, like, it's something like, this show is apparently something really easy just to do in the background. A lot of people like to do that. So I could possibly be doing other things at the same time, but still.
But you still need to have, like, a hand free to, like, jot down a time code.
Yeah. There's a lot of sometimes there's a lot of pausing and going back too. It's like, wait, was that a good point?
Was that a topic change?
Should I make a time code here? I don't know.
Pro tip, future Lucky, if it's a bolded segment in our show notes, that's definitely a topic break. Unfortunately, we delete all the rest of our show notes after we're done. So anyway, yeah, so that's master feedback just in general. Other than to remind everybody, hey, you know, pseudo master feedback, pseudo just more continual constant chilling. Like I said before, we got another month coming up. We hit our $50 goal to start doing video editing, but remember, at $100, we're doing those dramatic readings of Lucky Rants. So, you know, we're already over halfway there, and, you know, not too many people have to pitch in too much to edge us over, and that's always good, because I may have heard you need to make more money from my parents' conversation again.
Oh, shit. So,
hey, if you like us, and you like us doing this stuff, consider supporting us so we can continue to do it more, because, boy howdy, the shit we have to deal with, it's not this. Real annoying sometimes. Really gets in the way of doing this. With that all said, though, let's go ahead and round this out. Let's round out the episode by saying, hey, if you like this video, give it a like. Likes are good. Help keep the video in the algorithm. Let us know you enjoyed it. And of course, if you have any comments about anything we've said, response to any questions, any of the many things we've called for comment on, go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're interested in more instant communication, consider joining our Discord. Lots of back and forth back there. You know, we love to take suggestions and interactions from the Discord, get a lot of feedback there, just in general have good interaction. And of course, if you are new here and have not already, please subscribe to the channel to keep track of all our latest videos. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. The only other good way to keep track of our releases is to support us on Patreon. As we mentioned, you can get these episodes in audio format, downloadable, and early, as in literally like probably 15 minutes after we turn off the mics, I'm done with audio editing. Maybe a little bit longer because I have to make a thumbnail. But the episode is posted early for just as little as $1 a month, which, considering we do at least 4 of these, this is like a quarter a show. Real bargain bin. And you get all our other audio releases too, not just Let's Talk FGO. Also, subtle reminder, we do shows that aren't just Let's Talk FGO. We do Let's Plays, and we do other stuff, like our anime show, and sometimes I do other stuff you might care about. I don't know.
Like we'll be doing more stuff eventually.
Yeah, he's working. Oh, by the way, if you, because a lot of people actually watched the Wanted video on Iskandar. Whenever they announce the next limited servant banner, we'll probably do another one of those, whatever it is. By which I mean I will do another one of those, and maybe Lucky will edit it if he feels like it.
I am creature of fickleness.
And that's the show, guys. As always, we're happy to have you here. We thank you for taking time to listen to us, because we do know we ramble on about lots of stuff. But hey, just get your good old FGO fix. Now let's go wrap this episode up so we can be scooped.
Yay!
Question mark.